Hi, my name is Claire Mensi. I'm a senior psychology and management student on the Bucknell women's soccer team. So we were working with members of Goldman Sachs and their 10,000 Small Businesses initiative. So I was the liaison between my group of 10 students and then Goldman Sachs themselves. We worked with a couple local restaurants, but then also larger franchise owners. So we spoke to a few members of McDonald's and then some bigger chain restaurants because we wanted to see the difference between how the smaller local restaurants are being impacted by the pandemic. It was really interesting to kind of compare the two and see how both were affected. We looked at the financials, we looked at their marketing, we looked at their takeout, any of about their operations, their inside restaurant experience and how they were then transitioning, especially in the local Lewisburg community. I mean, a lot of these restaurants rely on us as students coming back to school and providing a lot of their capital intakes. It was really cool to kind of turn around and see how our solutions or probable solutions could have helped them in the end. Really, really a great experience for me because I was able to learn how to interact with people in the consulting industry, and the do's and don'ts of communication with them was super influential for me going to my internship this past summer.
I think Claire is one of the student athletes on this campus that really has her priorities in order. She's a tremendous student in the classroom and a great player on the field, and she balances them well. And from her summer internship, it sounds like she was doing just the same and logging in the hours and getting that valuable work experience.
I worked for an asset management company in New York City called Cohen & Steers. I worked in the global marketing product solutions team. I was on little projects just for my marketing team, just updating social media sites and the spreadsheets that we had, but then also we were sending out deliverables to our wealth and institutional teams. So I was keeping up on timelines and making sure everything was in order, was on webcast, making sure all the technical kind of little things were moving forward nicely. But then the intern project was definitely the hardest part. We were looking at all the lead management processes that come into the company. So anyone that interacts with the company itself, whether it's social media, webcasts, emails, anything, we were getting an influx of thousands of emails and information that nobody knew how to sort and deal with. Basically, my group came up with a process of how to take that information and then deliver it and then direct it all over the company, trusting all the hard work that we put in over the summer to then deliver something that ultimately the CEO was impressed by. So I think that was nerve-wracking, but definitely extremely rewarding in the long run. I suffered a concussion for about 4 or 5 weeks. Definitely a setback, didn't think that I was gonna have. And then my first game back, about 30 minutes in, I tore my ACL the first time. Not ideal at all, but I think I was just a bit shell-shocked of what was going on, and after being out and then just out for a much longer period of time.
I think just looking over Claire's career, definitely gone through some adversity in her time here and has been incredible, just persevering through it all and sticking to rehab plans and mentally growing so much stronger through the adversity of having those injuries back-to-back years.
Our first big game against University of Pittsburgh, during warm-up, I actually heard my knee pop again. Definitely shell-shocked once again. I felt like I just finished and I had to start all over. And now that I knew what the process was, I was really scared, really didn't want to do it again, but I really wanted to play. So I remember going in surgery day and just breaking down for the first time really about it and just being like, I don't know if I can do this again. Growth was a huge part of the process. I think it was just everyone has this picture of what their 4 years of being a college athlete is going to be like, and I had my vision of that and it was anything but that. But I think just being able to deal with the adversity thrown at me was a huge thing that I had to deal with. It was a super emotional process for me. Definitely not a college experience that I thought I would have, but honestly in the long run I'm very grateful for how it shaped me into the player I am today. I had a few complications in terms of just scars and scar tissue, and I tried everything in the book to try to get the pain away, and then I just realized at that point that I was like, okay, this is just something that I have to live with, and if it's an extra 15 minutes of stretching at the beginning, then that's what I do. I think for me it was just kind of overcoming that tough battle in my own head. I was standing in my own way at that point. That was the hardest part for me, and I think it was trusting myself and the training that I was doing and realizing that sometimes there are going to be bad days, but there are going to be better ones, and I think kind of overcoming that and just realizing that even though maybe today I had a horrible physical therapy day, but I think it was looking at what I have accomplished rather than all the things that I still had ahead of me. I think just focusing in on that was super important for me. Never to be too big to do the small things. I think that's something I take into account every day going to practice. I'm not satisfied with just the probably collective year and a half that I've been able to play. I think I still have some left in me to kind of put forth, and I really want to use it. I mean, I love the game of soccer, and thinking about it potentially being over in a matter of weeks just doesn't do it for me. So I think I've worked this hard and I really want to just make a difference at another school too. I've had a great experience here at Bucknell. I'm forever grateful for everyone that's been here along the way.